Cabbage may be one of the cheapest vegetables available, but by cooking it correctly, it can become a restaurant quality dinner. Today we're cooking this simple lemony cabbage pasta with tempeh bacon and a Pangritata topping. And if you're new here, my name is George, I've been a chef for 10 years and I love sharing plant-based cooking goodness, so let's get into this. I've got a large pan over a medium heat here and we're going to add a couple tablespoons of olive oil. You could add vegan butter as well if you fancied it. So first we're just going to remove the root. So just take that little bit off, as we want the onion to separate as we slice it. And then just thinly slice through. If I was doing something like onion wedges, then I'd keep the root in. But since I want them to separate and become nice slices, you can remove the root. You could use a regular white cabbage for this recipe, or if you want real depth of flavor, get yourself a savoy cabbage. It's the slowest growing variety, meaning it's got loads of flavor. It's got this lovely dark green colored leaves and they're slightly crinkly, so they hold the pasta sauce perfectly. Okay, prepping the savoy cabbage, we're just going to go straight down the middle. We're then going to cut out the core, just like so. Then with the outer leaves, we're going to cut either side of the stem and remove that. And then just stack your leaves up. You can roll them into a tight cigar and then you can just simply shred them finely. And there you've got some beautiful shredded cabbage. Really nice. And then once you get down to the core, I'm less worried about the stems as they're a little bit sort of fresher and sweeter. So we can just finely slice through them. As always, I'm keeping my fingertips tucked away and the thumb is at the back of the vegetable I'm cutting. And then you can just use your knuckles to guide the knife. Just make sure you don't go above your knuckles, as that's not going to end well. Now it looks like a lot of cabbage and onion, but I promise you it's going to cook down to nothing. Well, not nothing, because we do need something to eat. You can add a nice pinch of salt here just to help sweat it down. And then just mix it all through, get it nice and coated in the oil. And we're going to slowly cook this down for a really nice long time. If you're enjoying my recipes and my videos and want to help support me in creating more of them, check out my Patreon page. You can scan this QR code or there'll be a link in the description box. Now that I've got some heat into the pan, I'm going to turn it down to sort of medium-low and slowly cook this. Already you can see it has dramatically dropped in volume. Almost forgot, I'm also going to add in some fresh thyme. Slow cooking the onions and the cabbage is so important for getting it lovely and soft and sweet. If you rush this, you'll just have some slightly sharp, bitter cabbage rather than the sweet, soft and caramelized cabbage that we're looking for. Thyme works really well with onion and cabbage, so that's going to be really beautiful. And we're just slowly cooking this. We want it to be nice and sweet and soft by the end of the cooking. For the tempeh, I'm just going to cut it into nice little cubes. This smoky tempeh is a great sort of entry tempeh recipe. If you're maybe not a huge fan of it or you haven't eaten it very often, it's definitely a good place to start. Another option would be to crumble the tempeh in. That works quite well, gets it really nice and crisp. Get your pan nice and hot and then go in with some olive oil or an oil of your choice, or even no oil, up to you. And then once that oil is nearly smoking, we'll go in with our tempeh. Spread the tempeh out in a nice thin layer so that it's got space to get crispy and not just sort of steam. And we'll cook this until it's lightly golden on all sides. While the tempeh is cooking, we'll make the glaze, which is going to start with some soy sauce. I'm just using light soy sauce to add the lovely salty and umami flavor. Then maple syrup for a nice bit of sweetness and to make it slightly sticky. For a cheaper option, you could just use a little brown sugar or leave it out, it's up to you. Smoked paprika for that lovely smoky flavor, of course, but also that sort of fiery roast pepper flavor. Then we're going in with a touch of granulated garlic, a little toasted sesame oil, sherry vinegar for acidity, that's going to bring out all the other flavors, just a touch of that. And finally, some black pepper. And then just give that a whisk. For a really simple option, you could simply do some soy sauce and smoked paprika, and it would still be really tasty. This is just a more elevated version. The tempeh is lovely and golden now, and I've turned down the heat to low so we can add in our glaze. Maybe not low enough though. Give that a toss so it gets all nice and coated. I'm going to switch off the heat now. Getting the tempeh nice and brown first just means it has a really lovely nutty flavour. If you don't think you like tempeh, try it like this and I promise you'll be converted. And while that cabbage and onion is cooking away nicely, I'm going to get the pasta on. Always season your pasta water with a nice bit of salt. It looks like a lot, but it's not all getting absorbed by the pasta, as it won't absorb all the water, of course. Once you've cooked out most of the moisture from the cabbage and the onions, you're going to see that it does start to caramelize a little bit, which is exactly what you want. So I'm going to add in my sliced garlic now, which is going to be cooked just for a few minutes. For the last few minutes of the pasta cooking, I'm going to add in some edamame beans. The pasta I've cooked al dente, as we're going to add it back into the pan. I'm also straining it over a jug so we can keep some of that pasta water. The cabbage and onion is looking perfect now. It's soft, it's buttery, and it's starting to get a little bit caramelized as well, which is really nice. So we're going to go in with some lemon juice now, which will help deglaze the pan. It will help get up all those little caramelized bits off the pan and into the sauce. Working as a chef is all about making simple ingredients taste amazing, because anyone can make expensive ingredients taste good because they already taste good. Whereas cabbage, you need to give it a little bit of love and attention. Then go in with the pasta and edamame beans. A good grating of black pepper. Nice and generous. It's going to help contrast against the creaminess. And then just get the cabbage mixed through the pasta so it's all really nice and evenly distributed. And then to make this saucy and a little bit creamy, we're going to add in some pasta water, which has got the starch from the pasta to help thicken it. And then a few spoons of either vegan yogurt or cashew cream. It's a really nice hot day in England, so I find yogurt just makes it really lovely and fresh. It's got a slight tang to it. And then just mix that through. You can add as little or as much as you like, depending on how creamy you want it. So Pangritata, it sounds really fancy, but it's essentially just crispy breadcrumbs with some parsley, some lemon, and some garlic. Back in the day when cheese was really expensive, Italians would call it poor man's Parmesan, and that is what they would use instead. You get a lovely salty, fresh, and crunchy hit, and it is just perfect on pasta. Pangritata, really simple, just heat up a pan and add some olive oil. Then add in your breadcrumbs. You can use fresh or dried. I just happen to have some dried ones, which have been in the cupboard for a while now. But you could use some stale bread and just blitz it in the food processor. Great way to reduce food waste. We'll fry this for a few minutes until it's lovely and golden. And you can add a nice pinch of salt now as well. And you don't want to take your eyes off these, as they'll suddenly go golden brown and then they'll be burnt. So you have to be really careful. These are looking perfect now. I'm going to zest in 1 garlic clove. And you can just stir that through nice and quickly. It's going to smell incredibly fragrant now as the garlic perfumes the breadcrumbs. And I'm going to turn off the heat now because they're a really nice dark golden colour. So I've just removed them into a bowl to stop them cooking any further. And I'm going to zest in the zest of 1 lemon. The zest is really nice and tangy and has a really concentrated lemon flavour. Not quite as sort of fresh as the juice. I almost think it tastes like lemon sweets, the zest. Easiest way to chop herbs is to bunch them up really tightly. Then when you go to slice through them, you'll get a really nice fine cut. And you won't spend ages chopping through a big bunch of herbs. You don't want to chop through herbs too many times, as you'll start to lose the flavour out onto the chopping board and just start bruising them. Having a sharp knife is important as well. And that's it. I'll just add a quick grating of black pepper as well. And you can just mix it up and you've got a delicious, crunchy and fresh topping for pasta dishes, bean dishes, stews, lots of options. And I would say that is just about ready to serve. Then generous with the tempeh bacon, or smoky tempeh, whatever you want to call it. And then a nice dusting of that Pangritata really just finishes off the dish perfectly. And that is a tasty, budget-friendly pasta recipe fit for a king. So delicious. Really happy with this, not gonna lie. This is the perfect spring or summer dinner. It's creamy, but not too creamy so that it's heavy like other pasta dishes. Then you've got the sweet and buttery cabbage, which is just delicious. Smoky and chewy tempeh to add a bit of body and protein to the dish. And then it's finished off with that crunchy, herby, and slightly garlicky Pangritata. Absolutely delicious. Give this a go and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. For a delicious weeknight dinner that you're not going to want to miss, check out this video.